Hello, my most beautiful friend. So for today's video, I saw my friend Angelica Neatfist do this video a couple months ago, and I was like, that's a really good idea. I don't ever do enough tags on my channel, and I think tags are so much fun. So I thought it'd be really fun to sit down and do the eyeshadow palette tag. I just want to see what my answers are to all the questions, and maybe throwing one of my own. Well, then grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so like I said, I saw my friend Angelica Neatfist do this a couple months ago, and I was like, dang, that's a really good idea. So I thought it'd be really fun to finally sit down and do this video. My months have been so busy, but I finally had time to sit down and do the eyeshadow palette tag. So I will link all the questions down below. Like I said, this actually is inspired because of Angelica Neatfist, and if you guys want to participate, oh my God, please do, because it's always fun to hear your guys' answers. So the first question I have is your all-time favorite palette. Well, shit, that's an unfair question because it just depends. I'm such a mood person. Like, my palette and my feelings are just based upon my mood and what I'm feeling at that time. Same thing like reading. Like, my reading is subjective. One day this is my favorite book, the next day this is my favorite book, although right now I still am keeping consistent to my favorite book of the year so far, but I just feel like it just depends on my mood and like what I'm kind of into at the moment. But I did kind of browse through my collection to see which one is my all-time favorite. And I feel like the one that I'm going to talk about will maybe surprise you, maybe not surprise you, but it's a palette that I've used so much that I've actually hit pan, and it's going to be the ColourPop Little Ray of Sunshine. I feel like the reason why this is probably my all-time favorite is because I use this so much. Like, especially during the summer to fall season, I literally, you probably can't tell right here, but I've literally hit pan on that shade right there. There's something about just having a really good matte palette. Something about having a really good like matte yellow that I just freaking love. Now, I have used this palette a lot to do transition shades or to kind of mix and match with other palettes that are in my collection. And there's just something about this that I resonate with and I love so freaking much that while it may not be the most wowing palette for me, the reason why I'm putting it as my most favorite is because it's my most used palette. If I ever hit pan on something, I have like 356 palettes. Okay, I decluttered 100 this year and I still have 356. If I hit pan, that speaks volumes and how much I truly do love it. And this is one of the few palettes that I've actually hit pan on and I genuinely really do love it. So that's why I think my favorite palette of all time is going to be the Little Ray of Sunshine palette from ColourPop. I wish they bring this back. I think they did discontinue it, but oh my God, it's so good. Question number 2 is my new favorite palette. So my new favorite palette is actually going to be from Bella Beauté Bar, and it's going to be the Ocean Jewels palette. Now, this took the #1 spot this year. Of all the palettes that I tried, this is my #1 favorite palette that I tried this past year, and for good reason. Look at the color story. The color story just speaks volumes. I love this color story so much. This is everything I'm looking for in like a summer mermaid-esque palette. I love the neon and pastel shades. I love the bright bold shades. And I also love the deep shades in here as well. I just love this palette so much. I have used it a lot. And I just feel like this color story just really, truly speaks to my soul. There's something about adding like a blue, green, purple moment to my eyes I feel like are just so freaking pretty. Not only when I wear them, but when I see any of my friends rocking like a blue, purple, green moment, I'm always like, what is on your eyes? What, how did you do that? I want to see it. You know what I mean? Because something about that color story, I just love so much. So this one definitely took the spot for my #1 palette that I tried this year. And for me, it's beautiful. The mattes are really pigmented. They blend really easily. And those shimmers and duochromes, multichromes are just chef's kiss in this palette. I freaking love it. Question number 3, palettes that I keep for memories. So all of them. I mean, let's be realistic here, guys. I have 356 palettes. Like I said, I did declutter. I decluttered 100 and I'm still up at 356. I feel like that speaks volumes. So like my whole collection, I would say, but if I really had to narrow it down, any of my collab palettes that my friends done, any of like my friends' collabs, I will always keep and cherish those. Like for me, my beautiful friend Betty Jean, she had her Shroud Cosmetics collaboration. Those are no longer in my collection. I did retire them because they did break and I didn't want it to keep breaking. So I'd actually put that into a makeup box. It's actually in my closet. Eventually when I retire any of my other friend collabs, it's going to go in that box as well because I do love and support my friends. I feel like all of my glamlite palettes, because like I feel like you can only find 10 of them now available on their website or TikTok shop. Everything else has been discontinued. All of those are palettes I will absolutely keep for memory's sake. It doesn't matter how many declutters I do in my life. My glamlite palettes, as far as I know, are going to be here to stay. Those are going to be here to stay. And then the rest, I mean, like I said, I have a really hard time parting from my eyeshadow palettes. I love them so much. A lot of them I spend spent my own money on, and a lot of them I got them in PR. It's kind of like a 60-40, just kind of depending. And I love and cherish them. Like I kept them for a reason. I couldn't part with them for a reason. Do I realistically need 356 palettes? Absolutely freaking not. That's ridiculous. But I have such a love and attachment for them that I don't want to get rid of them either, because I have a lot of memories associated with each of the palettes. So I feel like all of them. Question number 4, underrated palette. I feel like my underrated palettes, I think there's 3, are going to be from Question Beauty. This is a brand that I feel like a lot of people are not talking about enough. I tried them for the first time this year, and I think their quality is phenomenal. Like the mattes are super pigmented. They blend beautifully with virtually any fallout, but it's those like those duochromes and those shimmers that are in here that are just absolutely gorgeous. Like I tried the Land and Sea, and this palette is just truly so breathtaking. This came like in my number 1 that I tried so far this year. Then I think this came in my top 5. I loved everything about this color story. I love the way the shimmers just glide on so beautifully. Now this is going to be one of those formulas that it's super emollient. So if you do have really oily lids, I do recommend using some glitter glue to help to lay them down. But these are beautiful. They blend like a dream. I loved wearing this palette so much, and I kept wearing it throughout the entire summer. You guys have not seen me play with the Ocean one yet. This is the chapter 3. I did have a shade come in broken, but we were able to pretty much fix this. You guys will see me play with this in an upcoming video at some point. I promise I will do a review. I would play with this in a video for you guys. Very, very beautiful. And then I also really, really loved my chapter 2. Just really beautiful. I love the color story. I love the concept. I love the story that they're telling with these. And I just feel like as a whole, these palettes are very underrated. I feel like I barely see anyone talk about Question Beauty. I really, really enjoyed them. Same thing with like Art 2 Cosmetics. They're one of my absolute favorite indie brands, and I don't see enough people talking about them as well. But if I had to pick palettes, I feel like these 3 palettes, because I feel like these 3 are the ones that people don't really talk about enough. Question number 5, not a favorite, but can't get rid of. So question number 5, this one kind of made me laugh because I realized immediately when I saw that question what the answer would be. And it's going to be the Lunar Beauty. This is going to be the Nude Prism palette. This is not a favorite of mine at all. But this is a palette I can't get rid of because goddamn, is it perfect for neutrals. Like I have taken this with me on every single trip I've ever gone on. This goes with me. When I went to any Creator and Friends trip, this goes with me. There's something about this that is just beautiful. I think it's just because I love how easy it is to create a simple, elegant eye look with this palette. When I went to Vegas last year, this is the palette that I brought with me. When I had weddings last year, this is the palette that I wore. I love mixing the shade right here with these 2 shades. Something about it is so beautiful, so effortless. It takes like 2 seconds to do, but yet I feel beautiful each and every single time I wear it. And every time I wear it, I always go, oh my God, what's on your eyes? Like, how'd you do that? It's this, and it takes like 2 seconds. And you know who taught me it? Freaking Manny did. Manny taught me it. And I love it. It's not my favorite, but damn, I'll never let this go because this is a beautiful neutral palette that I gravitate to each and every single time I need to look beautiful for an event, or I'm traveling, or just want to have like a beautiful everyday makeup look. This is the palette that I go for. Question number 6, favorite collab palette. So I actually just did another tag right before this, and I talked about the Glamlite and ColourPop collabs. But I feel like truly I'm gonna let this moment go to ColourPop because ColourPop used to do collabs all the time. And I feel like they really kind of dropped the ball over the years and got kind of made fun of for how shitty their collabs were. Like when they did their first Twilight collab, Glamlite saw that and was like, bet we could do better. And ColourPop kind of took that as a challenge. And I feel like they really raised the bar this year when it came to their collabs. So 2 that kind of stand out for me are going to be the New Moon and the Shrek. So the New Moon came out earlier this year. And I will say this is probably one of ColourPop's like best collabs. First off, the packaging, absolutely beautiful. But the color story is just gorgeous. This screams New Moon. I feel like they did such a wonderful job with this collection and with this palette in particular. I love the color story. I love the shades. I feel like they did a beautiful job to truly bring out the New Moon I feel like they did a beautiful job bringing New Moon to life. Like they truly absolutely did. But I feel like for me, their best like formula and the color story is also going to be for the Shrek right here. The Shrek one is gorgeous. I love the way they did their packaging on here, to the color story on the inside, to the formula itself. It's just everything screams Shrek. The formula was incredible. I loved everything about this palette. I've used it numerous times ever since getting it, and I just feel like ColourPop saw the hate that they were getting and really just stepped up this year in terms of their collab. And I feel like they did such a beautiful job. I'm really excited to see where they go with this. And they did not release in nearly as much as years they have previous years, but the ones that they did release, they truly took their time and effort with, and I really, really appreciate that about ColourPop. So I feel like ColourPop truly outdid themselves this year when it came to their New Moon and their Shrek collection. Number 7, 2024 favorite palette. So my 2024 favorite palette is actually from Bella Vitae Bar. They won because of the Poison Garden palette, which is so funny that they won 2024 and 2025. That's actually quite hilarious. I didn't even realize that until now, honestly. I will say I still love this palette. This is the first palette I actually ever tried from the brand, and this is what made me fall in love with the brand. When I tried this, I was like, dang, I have been sitting on this brand for how long now? Like, all my friends tried this palette, tried this brand, always raved about it, but I never tried them myself until I got my hands on this. And then after I did, I was like, I've been sitting on them for how long? Because they are amazing. They take the #1 spot. This is the second. They took in the #1 spot 2 years in a row now, and for good reason. Their mattes are just truly incredible, but it's their duochrome shimmer, it's their duochrome, holochromes, and shimmers that are in here that are just chef's kiss. I love everything about this brand, their color stories, their palettes, their formulas, just everything. So this was my 2024 favorite palette. Question number 8. What's a palette that I did not expect to love? So a palette that I did not expect to love, honestly, and I'm not just saying this because this person is my friend. I'm generally saying this because this palette truly took me by surprise. And that's going to be the Paisley Hoop palette from Singe Beauty. Now, you guys know I'm very much a colorful eyeshadow palette person. And this is definitely marketed towards a neutral moment. But there are some pops and colors that I do enjoy in here. But I think the reason why I didn't expect to love this is because, like I said, this is a color story I don't necessarily gravitate to. But I've used this palette so much since getting my hands on it. This is a perfect neutral palette for me in terms of like wanting both colorful and neutral at the same time. I get that in here. The mattes are very beautiful, and the shimmers that are in here are not the super creamy buttery shimmers, but they're perfect for those who do have oily lid. These are the type of shimmers that are going to last you all day. I don't need any sort of glitter glue with them. I lay them down very nicely. I don't have to worry about them falling out on the face or like leaving extra, glitter or sparkle on the face. This just sticks to my lid and holds on very beautifully throughout the day with no cracking, no creasing. I think Angelica did a beautiful job with her color story and with her formula, and I just did not expect to love this one as much as I did because, like I said, you guys know I don't necessarily go for color stories like this, but this one really surprised me. It's gonna be more of a cool tone, neutral moment. I know Angelica loves that cool tone feel, and I do like it, but I just feel like they're not really colors I always go for. But she surprised me with this one because I can get the best of both neutral and some pops of colors in here. And I did not expect to love this one as much as I did. Like I said, I'm not even saying that because she's my friend. I'm generally saying that because this one truly did surprise me. Question number 9, palette that sparks joy. So a palette that sparks joy, that makes me smile and just giggle anytime I see it, is going to be the Glaminatrix Tones of Turd palette. I love this palette. This palette makes me feel so seen. Like, I feel so seen. So this palette right here is a poop themed palette. This started off as an April Fool's joke last year, and it started off as an April Fool's joke this past year, and it turned into a legitimate thing because of how much demand there was for this palette. I think I was like a #1, like, go give us a poop palette. We need it. This gave us that. They gave us that with this. And I just feel like for me, one, the color story is just beautiful. It's everything you imagine for a poop themed palette. The color story, the formula, the shade names, everything about it is just beautiful. But I think for me, as someone who does suffer from a lot of stomach issues, I never felt more seen. I've been very vocal, guys. I've been very vocal with you guys that I have a colonoscopy coming up. It's this week, by the way. And I just felt like I was always so ashamed to talk about my stomach issues because, like, I don't know, people I feel like sometimes go, ooh, I don't know. People can just be weird, right? And so I was very secretive about my colonoscopy, and I was like, well, fuck, why am I being secretive? Like, it's not like it's a taboo thing. It's a very common thing to have done. So I've been very vocal, like, hey, I'm 36, but I'm having to have a colonoscopy because I have tummy issues. And it is what it is. If it's going to save my life and prevent any further issues from happening, by all means, I am all for it. And I've just been very vocal with you guys about my tummy issues over the years, and I have no shame in it because it's not like it's my fault. I can't control what my body can and cannot process. I have no control over it, so I should feel no shame, and I don't want anyone else to feel that way. And when I first talked about my colonoscopy, the amount of people that reached out and said, I feel seen. I'm like, are you guys scared to talk about it? Don't be. Like, we're all human. It's okay. We all fart. Okay? We all fart. We all take shits. It's what we do. We're humans. And if anyone says otherwise, they're lying to you. Okay? They are absolutely lying to you. And I'll tell you guys right now, it's like those prettiest girls in the room that have the deadliest farts. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Some of my friends, I'm like, oh God. You know what I mean? So I loved everything about this palette represented. So anytime I see it, it brings me so much joy. It makes me smile because I just go, I feel seen. And I love the color story, and this just brings me a lot of joy. I don't know what to tell you. I love this palette. You guys know I've loved this palette since I got my hands on it, since I first talked about it. Brings me a lot of joy. Question number 10. What is the newest palette in my collection? So my newest palette in my collection, the one that I got last, is actually going to be from Bella Beauté Bar, and it's going to be the crystallized palette right here. I actually posted a reel on this. I did not have time to do a reel for this. I did not have time to do a dedicated video to like unearthly Gourmand Girls, Glaminatrix, or Bella Beauté Bar, I was just able to do some shorts. And so that's what I did with this. This palette is the newest one I have in my collection. It's absolutely beautiful. I think it's a really beautiful winter palette. I love the look that I created when wearing this palette. And like I said, I did post a short and a reel if you guys do want to check that out. But this is the newest one to my collection. Now, question number 11, first palette I used in 2025. So the first palette that I used in 2025 is actually from ABH, and it's going to be the Spice palette. I did a video where I did a full face of this year's Pantone color of the year, and I'm going to do that again. This time it's going to be cloud paint, so I'm going to have to find everything white for the most part to do a full face out of, at least like the products itself, right? Like the colors of the palette products. But this is the first palette I used in 2025. First palette I used January 1st was this right here. And I loved it. I had a lot of fun doing that video. That video was actually a lot of fun. I definitely want to do it again this year. So you guys should expect on January 1st, I will have another full face of this year's Pantone color of the year as well. But yeah, this is my first palette I used this year. Question number 12. If you could choose a collab, what would it be? That's a very good question. I am going to truly refrain from talking about it because I will say I was working on a collab. I've reached out to several brands over the years to do collabs, and brands that I really love and would love to work with. And some are very kind and said that they don't really want to collab with any content creators. They just want to focus on their own things, which I completely respect. Others said that if they ever do collabs in the future, they love to work with me. And then others just never got back to me. But there was one brand in particular that I had reached out to on a whim, and I just kind of like shoot my shot, right? I shoot my shot. I reached out and I said, hey, I love you guys so much. You know how much I love you. And if you guys ever do a collaboration, I'd love to be considered. And the brand was very much like, yeah, maybe one day if we do collabs, like we could definitely talk about it. And then they sat on it for like a weekend, and then they came back and said, you know what? We would love to work with you. And I was like, what? You'd love to work with me? What? And I was just so blown away by them saying yes. And this experience was incredible. We literally, within a day of saying yes, we got on Zoom, we talked about the concept, the color story, and the special project that I wanted to do with this palette. And it was a project that meant so much to me, because I have been very vocal for you guys for years that I love organizations that give back to animals, because animals, to me, are such innocent creatures on this earth. And if I can find a way to protect every single one of them, I absolutely would. My heart and soul goes to all the animals out there, especially those that cannot defend themselves. And anytime a brand gives back to an animal organization, automatically has my heart. And I made it very clear that instead of me getting a certain percentage for profits, I want to take a portion of my own proceeds to donate to a particular animal organization that I love so much. And the brand was absolutely like, yes, absolutely, however you want to do it. We were getting everything drawn up. We were getting the artwork, the color story. And then, unfortunately, all the tariffs happened and it just got put on indefinite hold. I don't know if that palette will ever see the light of day. I really wish that it would, because it was something that I was really proud of. And it's something that I really wanted to do. And I'll never say the brand or the color story or anything like that, because that's something I still want to kind of hold on to myself, because if it ever does go back and if it ever does become a thing, I generally want to show you guys it. But just know that I was very proud of it, and I was very proud of the cause behind it and what I was representing. And I just would love to one day bring it to light to you guys, because that would have been such a true moment. Okay, so that was all the questions, but Angelica added her own question to this tag, and I figured, you know what, let me add my own. So question number 13, if you can redo any palette, like any palette in your collection, how would you redo it? For me, I would honestly redo the Glamlite pizza palette. As someone that can't have pizza, I would love to redo it. How I would do it, I have no idea. But that was one of the first palettes I got from Glamlite, and I always talk about that palette, how it's my least favorite Glamlite palette, right? It's my least favorite, but that palette is what made them stand out. That palette is what really put their name in people's mouths. Like, granted, it didn't blow up their brand by any means. That was the burger palette, but at least people start to turn their heads going, what's glamlite? Who's glamlite? It's because the pizza palette was so innovative for its time, and I would just love to take that palette and redo the whole thing, remaster it, and one, make it have a better formula than it does have now. Two, redo the entire packaging. But three, really reinvent that color story on the inside. Truly capture the essence of what a pizza is. Maybe have a section for the blanc, for the white pizzas, or the pesto pizzas, or the marinara pizzas. Maybe show different style toppings. Maybe different segments. Instead of having a big massive whole pizza, do smaller ones that truly kind of represent what people love, like a margarita pizza, a spinach alfredo pizza, a supreme pizza, like a vegetarian style pizza. Like, kind of reimagine it and reinvent it. And I just feel like it'd be so fun to kind of do that collab or redo that project. And I feel like I'd have a lot of fun doing that. So that's my question to you. If there's one palette in your collection that you could redo yourself, what would it be and what would you change it to? Those are the eyeshadow palette tag. Again, huge thank you to Angelica for inspiring me on today's video. I'll leave the questions down below just in case you guys want to partake, but that, my most beautiful friends, that's it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already, because I do post 3 to 4 videos every single week. Make sure you guys head over to my other channel. It's R for Life. You guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures, my amazing husband, Corey. And as always, the biggest thank you goes to these beautiful, wonderful page members you guys see right here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe, either way, thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, guys, I love you. I'll see you guys in the very next video.